know, my channel is mostly centered around new makeup products, so that always makes it really exciting for this Sephora VIB holiday sale time for me, because then I can round up some of my most recent favorite products. But if I'm being honest, if I were to round up all of my favorite products from Sephora for that recommendations video, we'd be here all day. So a lot of my recommendations videos for the Sephora event, those are, you know, my favorite products within the last 6 months. So I already have that video uploaded if you want to check it out. Some really phenomenal products. But there's a lot of products in the background that I am constantly reaching for that I kind of feel like I left behind in my recommendations video since I could only put so much in. So I thought today I'd sit down and I'd use some of my favorite products from Sephora that aren't necessarily as new and exciting and don't get talked about too much on my channel anymore, but I'm still loving them and I still recommend these. This video is kind of like a don't forget about these video. You've heard me talk about all of these makeup items. If you watch all of my videos, there ain't nothing new, but we're going back to tried, true, and really trustworthy products. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna get ready for the day. I'm gonna start off with primer. This is the Hourglass Airbrush Primer, the Vanish Airbrush Primer. This actually I probably should have put in my Sephora recommendations because this has entered my collection in the most recent of months. But I really love this primer. It's very, very smoothing. I believe Hourglass came out with this year. It's one of my favorite complexion products from Hourglass. I feel like their complexion products can be hit or miss, but this one is super duper nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze some out. And this has equal parts hydration and equal parts smoothing. And honestly, not only that, but I feel like it also soothes the skin. So if you have skin that gets irritated, is very sensitive, this just feels really nice and calming to put over the skin. This is a really kind of do-it-all primer if you're not in need of longevity or super oily. I think everything about this for sensitive, dry skin girls, this is an amazing primer. It really makes the makeup application experience enjoyable. Now, foundation. This one was in my last Sephora recommendations video, and I wanted to share this with you because I am still reaching for it all the dang time. Just because it wasn't in this Sephora recommendations video doesn't mean I'm not still using it. So NARS has this light reflecting foundation, and I have disliked a lot of NARS foundations, believe it or not, and everybody raves about their foundations, but this one is so good. So I use the shade Patagonia. It has a really nice kind of lightweight liquidy consistency, which I think makes it feel very natural on the skin. You don't feel like you're really wearing anything. So I'm just going to use my finger, blend that out. And I wasn't going to talk about this, but I pretty recently did a sponsorship with IT Cosmetics. I guess I'll put this in the video because this is really good if they sell it at Sephora. This is the number 7 brush. What a beautiful complexion brush. I love that it's double-ended with a big brush and a small brush so you can get into the crooks and crannies of the face. You can also use this with concealer. I've really been enjoying this brush, and if you've been here for the long haul, I used to absolutely despise a foundation brush. I was like, why would somebody choose that over a sponge? Nothing gets a more natural finish than the sponge, and a sponge makes everything so skin-like, and while that is still kind of true, I don't know why I hated a brush so much. This is good. Getting a little bit more product around the outskirts of my face, because this is like a hint dark on me. Anyways, this foundation, beautiful, lightweight, very natural, lasts a long time, never looks cakey. It has not really too glowy of a finish, but it's not completely flat either. It's the perfect everyday foundation. I really love, 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 love wearing this. If I had to minimize the size of my foundation collection, God forbid, I would have to have this in the lineup because it has the properties of what I would like in an everyday foundation. And this brush is also nice. Okay, weird order, but eyebrows next. This is the way I do things. Okay, so this one's kind of like a hidden gem. Eyebrows are probably the most boring topic ever, so I don't think I've mentioned this other than in a speed reviews video, but I really enjoy this Rephr eyebrow pencil. It has a very, very fine tip. I mean, I don't really love talking about this product too much because I feel like the packaging is kind of cheap. You know, Rephr's not the most expensive brand that you pay for at Sephora, but I don't know. I like a lot of different brow pencils, so I never thought to talk about this, but this is one where it's like a silent killer. I don't think about how much I like this very often, but I keep reaching for it. You know what I mean? Like, I just like, I need a quick brow. I grab this. So it's really, really functional. It works really nice. And the tip is very fine. So you can see it's perfect for getting that really thin line. Oh, excuse me. To make the brows look nice and clean. Then brush them up, blend that out. Then we brush the brows down. And this is where the size of the Rephr pencil is gonna be useful. So just use hair-like strokes. And it gives a perfect level of pigmentation. You know, it's not too creamy and it's not making my eyebrows really, really dark brown. If you use more pressure, then you're gonna get more color. If you use less pressure, then you're gonna get a lighter, kind of more ashy color. I just feel like there's a lot of versatility in this and it makes it very, very easy to use. And then for eyebrow gel, I've been talking nonstop about the new Too Faced eyebrow gel. Like, I'm kind of obsessed with it. But a close second is this Patrick Ta Major Brow Lamination Gel. This was sold out for so many months. I believe you should be able to get it now, but this is literally glue for your eyebrows. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this on. Wow, you can literally see like a glue strand. But I really like the applicator on this. It's kind of like a paddle, and it really does a nice job of combing through the brows and separating. And for a while, in terms of like getting that fluffy brow look, this was the golden standard for me. I will say Too Faced has trumped it. I'm liking how the Too Faced one makes my eyebrows look, but I still really enjoy this one. This one, it's not that it's less harsh, but it has a little bit of a lighter weight feel on the brows, less crunchy. This still makes your brows crunchy, but it is a less crunchy feeling than the Too Faced. And the way this brushes the hair out is a little bit more natural. So I feel like the Too Faced really separates and clumps the brows to get a very severe look in the best way possible. You know, I love it. This one doesn't separate the hairs quite as much, but it still gives a really, really fluffy look. All in all, this one is a very close second to the Too Faced. It's really nice, and looking at it now that I've been using the Too Faced one so much, this one has a little bit more of like a natural fluffy appearance, which I think is really nice. I kinda gotta fix this though. Ew. Okay. Now, I feel like I'm getting pickier and pickier when it comes to concealers. They're either a yes or no for me. This one is a huge yes, and I feel like this one never, ever, ever got the attention that it deserved. This is the ABH concealer, the Magic Touch concealer. It is bomb. Okay? I'm still loving it. I'm still using it, even though nobody else wants to still talk about this. It is still that girl. I like a concealer that almost spreads a little bit more liquidy. I feel like those tend to have a more hydrated look on the under eyes. I'm also just gonna do this, why the heck not? And I'm gonna use my beauty blender, which you can also get on the sale, but you can get a really good sponge from the drugstore as well, though. I do find myself constantly reaching back for my beauty blender. I don't know, nothing is as soft as a beauty blender. I like this color because it's a bit brightening, but not too brightening. Make sure you get in here. And it just spreads like a dream. It gives you pretty full coverage, I would say. And it doesn't look drying, and it wears really well. In my opinion, it's one of the best quality concealers available at Sephora. And I don't know why nobody is not talking about this. I recommended in my video the new Milk Makeup Concealer. They are very, very similar. I would say this one has a little bit more coverage though, and a hint more of a matte finish, but still not drying. Okay, before I set my under eyes with powder, I want to use a cream bronzer because this year has been all about cream bronzers and cream blushes for me. I didn't pull a cream blush. Maybe I should after this. But anyways, let's talk about cream bronzers. Loving the Sun Melt Natural Cream Bronzer. I went through a phase with this summer. One of the best cream bronzers at Sephora. Humble opinion. And I think they're a clean makeup brand. Ew, why is mine sweating? Pretend like you didn't see that. Just gonna use my sponge, and it has a really natural finish on the skin, and I have mine in the shade light bronze, and if you have my skin tone, this is the most natural tone. Do you see how it's not overwhelming? It's not too dark, but it gives a really natural bronze to the face. It's not intense at all. The undertone of this is perfect, and it's a great color because you can still put a powder on top if you have a color of a powder bronzer that you like, or you can go at it like this and it's super natural and beautiful. I'm gonna take this number 7 brush from It again, and though you probably want more of a cool tone shade, I don't care. I love this tone so much. Just gonna run this down the sides of the nose to contour that a little bit. And again, you can see right here just how subtle and beautiful this is. I mean, this is not an underrated product. I've seen a lot of people talk about this, but for good reason. They ain't bluffing. Gonna take a second, I'm gonna grab a cream blush formula that I really enjoy. Also off camera, I'm gonna clean up under the brows a little bit with concealer and I'll be back. Hi, it's me, I'm back. I had to get a cream blush formula just because how trendy cream blushes are and how much I've been loving them this year. So I put out a formula that I haven't talked about too much. This is the LYS Beauty High Standard or Higher Standard Satin Cream Blush in the shade Kindness. Now the reason that I pulled this out, 1, obviously it's very good quality. 2, they have an amazing $20 set where you can get 3 different colors. Now it's a smaller size, but we love variety here. The smaller, the cheaper, with more colors, the better. So I thought that one was a really good deal, and I think this is a really solid cream blush formulation, so I thought I'd demo it for you. I use my beauty blender for just about everything. Look at this. This isn't too emollient of a cream blush, but I feel like I applied way too much. I just went in way too hard with that. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I pressed really hard, to be fair. Okay, I said it wasn't that emollient, like I didn't just fix it by blending itself out. Okay, I take that back. It's just not as like liquidy as some cream blushes, but I feel like that gives it a little bit of longevity, and that doesn't mean like it doesn't make it blend out really nice, because look at that, look how healthy my cheeks look. So this is a really great formula. I wanted to pull this out to remind you of that set, which I think I'm gonna pick up. I haven't shopped yet at the moment that I'm filming this, but I think I want to pick up that set because I do enjoy this formula. And so I wanted to use this formula again today to kind of remind myself. It made my cheeks look really, really smooth. Ooh, we like that. Okay, finally, we need to get some powder on the face. As a sweaty girl, I need powder. Okay, I've talked about this countless numbers of times, but if you haven't picked up the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder, probably my favorite powder at Sephora, along with the Pat McGrath. The pressed Pat McGrath under eye setting powder. Those are my all-time 2 favorite powders. So I'm just gonna use this on the under eyes because nothing makes it smoother. I wanted to add variety, I did, but there isn't a better powder. If you haven't tried it, do so. Getting a little bit on my sponge, push it in. Look how much more smooth this side looks compared to the other side. I'm even putting it right here where my skin can get pretty porous. The proof is in the pudding. I mean, that's why you should buy it. That's why. If you're looking for a powder. There's a lot of powders that I like that I'd be happy to share with you guys. I know a lot that aren't sold at Sephora that are almost as blurring as this one, but in terms of what you can get at Sephora, my opinion, this one is the best. So we are good on that. I did want to pull out this baby right here from Dior. This is the Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. This is a completely lightweight, weightless powder. If you have dry skin, I cannot recommend a better powder for you. Now, I really don't need to be putting this on right now because I just used the Huda and got carried away with it. They describe it as like a powder no powder. It really is a powder that's not powdery. So if you're on the hunt for something that, if you like a really glowy makeup look and you don't want a product to take away from it, but you still want to set, this is perfect. This came out, we all loved it. then it got forgotten about as the new came, but don't forget about this. It is still a bomb powder. Dior did a phenomenal job with this. I'm going to let you in on one of my favorite, it's not a hack, but it's something that I use a little unconventionally that I think is so stunning. I love to use this Huda Beauty Glowish Luminous Press Powder as my bronzer / beautiful over cream bronzer. So it sets cream bronzer is great. So the gist behind this product is it gives a really glowy finish. It's supposed to be a powder for the face. You could try it as powder foundation. It's not going to look cute. You will look like you applied a highlight. But as a bronzer, this is phenomenal. I have mine in the shade 04 Light Medium. Watch magic happen. So it's great for very light makeup days. I'm going to take a BK Beauty 111 brush. This is from the new launch. And I'm just going to get the outsides of my face. Now, because I do have a cream bronzer on, it might be a little bit harder to tell. But I'm telling you, for very natural makeup days, this is the best bronzer. There's nothing that looks more natural. It has a really pretty glow to it, which makes it great to apply on top of cream bronzers. I don't know if you guys can tell a difference. I hope you can. But every time I wear this as a bronzer, I just love how natural and seamless it blends into the skin. And because it's a powder, it's supposed to improve the finish and texture of your skin. Does it do that when it's all over the face? No. But in this small capacity as a bronzer, I feel like it does that. So it just looks really natural, seamless, and pretty. So I love that as a bronzer. Now blush. These are old. Love these for years. They went re-trending on TikTok and probably for the last year or two been out of stock. I've been seeing them back in stock in stores and they did go out of stock because they are that good. They are these little Dior backstage blushes and normally, it's not as exciting to buy an individual blush shade. Love a good palette, especially with all the good palettes that have launched this holiday season. But these are worth it. And I guess, I don't know which one I want to go for. Maybe I should mix both. I think I will. In terms of the colors, the most popular shade has been this pink shade, but don't sleep on coral. Miss Coral is really nice as well. I'm going to put coral towards the back of my cheek, BK Beauty A507. I think this one is going to go better with the cream blush that I used. It has like such a soft look to the skin. It is matte, but it doesn't look drying. And it looks like it's just coming out of the skin, as if you were somehow able to create this beautiful color on your own. Your skin produced it. And I'm going to use a little bit of pink. I didn't clean off the brush, so it's going to be a little bit mixed, but we love a baby pink glow. It's a very blue-based pink. If you're going to use a baby doll pink, you need to put a little bit on the nose. I'm telling you, it looks so youthful and fresh. And how good does my skin look? And then let's finish off with a highlighter. I raved about these when these launched. I feel like the type of product that it is itself, a highlight, is not that exciting, but I do really enjoy the House Labs Bioradiant Gel Powder Highlighters. These didn't quite make the cut for the recommendations video, but I really wanted to put them in because I love my makeup every time I wear these. I think today we're going to use Sunstone. It's a little bit more of a champagne-y gold. BK Beauty 112 brush. If you can't tell, loving the new BK Beauty collection. Look how pretty that is. I just think this is a really solid highlight. Nowadays with all of the amazing highlight formulas that the drugstore comes out with that come in value sets and palettes, it's a little harder now to justify an individual highlight, but this one is so worth it. It literally is one with the skin. It has such a smooth, thin layer that it adds over the skin. I don't know. It looks so good. It becomes one with the skin, which is something that I look for. And she has the neatest colors, a huge color range. I think it's really, really cool. But this natural shade, you don't see where it starts and ends. You just see the glow, and I think it's a phenomenal formulation. So I wanted to talk about this one because, highlights haven't been as exciting to me recently, but this one is a good one. This one excited me. Okay, so the eyeshadow, right? There are so many eyeshadow palettes that I love. My recommendations video had a lot of different palettes that I wanted to recommend. So I pulled out an oldie, but a goodie. She's really, really pricey, but I found it very important to do that because you want to make the most out of that discount. I chose a palette that I don't think will ever go on sale anytime soon, and I've used it plenty of times on my channel. That is the Natasha Denona Biba palette. Now, this is $129. Ooh. So you're definitely saving as much as you can, but I am not going to recommend a $129 palette to you in this exact moment that you're not going to love. It will hurt you a little bit to buy it. I'm not gonna lie. But you won't be disappointed when you buy this. This is the best and most essential neutral palette on the market, in my very, very humble opinion. Now, Natasha Denona has a lot of different palettes that I recommend. The newer palettes, Retro and Glam, those are my two all-time favorites, but I feel like I've used them so much, so I needed to use something else, even though I've still used this one a lot. But Retro, Glam, and Biba are the top three that I recommend, but they have a lot of Natasha Denona palettes on the Sephora website. Take a gander. Natasha Denona, she does have sales, but it's not really ever more than what Sephora normally does. Like Pat McGrath, for example, I wouldn't choose a Pat McGrath palette because she does like 30-35% off sales. That's way better than what you get on the Sephora sale. A Natasha Denona sale at Sephora is pretty real deal, with the exception of older palettes. If a palette's a few years old, you'll get them for 50% off. But Biba is one of their best sellers. I just don't see it going on sale anytime soon, so I think that's what makes it really great. So I'm gonna do one look on one eye, and I'll be back. I can't believe that I did a matte look, but that is why this palette is so perfect, because they blend like butter, and you will love a matte look. Anytime I do a matte look, like, which is 1 in every 100 makeup looks that I do, I'm like, ugh, a matte look is so flattering, so clean looking. So that's what we're gonna do today. I've probably done this look already with this palette, but it's just so good. So I'm gonna start off with Tusk right here, and I'm gonna blend this in the outer corner and the crease as well. So carry it through, get that outer corner. I love outer corner action. And then also applying this along the lower lash line, just to add a really natural shadow. This is actually going to be our lid color when we get there, but we're leaving that there for now. Then we're going to go into Cocoa, which has a little bit of warmth in there, and I'm going to apply this by patting it on the outer corner of the eye, and then we're going to work it out even a little bit over as well, so when we put on our lid shade, there will be a little bit more contrast, and then blend it out. Same deal on the lower lash line, go in about halfway, blend it out. I find a winged out shape is very flattering on my eye shape, so that's what I'm doing. And you'll see I'm using the same shade, but I'm still able to blend and get some depth as I layer, and that's a very good characteristic of a high quality shadow. I'm going to deepen a little bit with Seed right here, which has a little bit more coolness to it. And I'm going to focus it a little closer to the lash line and then blend. Again, this is just giving me more depth. Honestly, I'm going a little deeper on this eye than I did in the first because I want more contrast with the lid shade. Taking the first brush that I used, blending BK Beauty 210, and we're going in with Spot, which is this black shade. It's the cream to powder formulation, but it's really good quality and much more pigmented than you would think. And why I love this formulation in black in particular is because it's so much less messy. Because you know how with black powder shadows, when you use them like this, they just get all over your face? This formula that Natasha Denona decided to put it in, perfect. I'm going to take a clean small brush, this is a Rephr 14, and blend. So I kind of created a really messy wing, and I'm making it even messier by blending it out. So it just creates the shape, because we are going to use a liquid liner, which will give that defined line. Doesn't that look nice? Then I'm taking a small brush, we're going into Tusk, and I'm putting this all over the eyelid. This is going to brighten things up. In contrast against those dark colors, it's pretty close to my skin tone. But see, isn't this such a cool look? Every time I do an all matte look, I'm like, I love it. But I rarely do a matte look. But anyways, that being said, I think this is just a phenomenal neutral palette. It has cool tone neutrals, warm tone neutrals, and neutral tone neutrals in here. Really easy to blend, very great for beginners. Just a solid, great staple palette to have in your collection. And since it is so pricey, best time to pick it up. Now, okay, I have another crazy expensive item. I'm sorry, but this is the best liquid liner that I've ever used. I've talked about this a lot. This is a Tom Ford Eye Defining Pen. There are two sides to it. One side is bigger, one side is smaller. It never dries out. It gives the most precise line. I can get the quickest wing with this for some reason. It doesn't run. It's the best. It's just like $60. Just throwing that out there. But it's so good and so worth it at a discount. So we're going to start off with the bigger side and create a wing. And then we're going to bring it in. Okay, I can't talk anymore. But I'm just going to finish this. I'm just going to line in here and call it a day. So 1 second. I know it was hard for you to tell, but so quick to do a wing with this. It's so precise. I'm actually going to create a soft inner corner wing. So to do that, I'm just going to get an angled brush. I'm going to use eyeshadow. So I'm going to grab some of Spot from the Natasha Denona palette, and then I'm going to go in with concealer to sharpen it. I'm not going to do this on camera, but I'm going to quickly do this off camera because I have a meeting to run to, and then I'll be back and we'll do lashes together. Now, I do love mascaras from the drugstore, but for the Sephora event, I will splurge on my favorite mascaras. Now, I recommended the Tower 28 in the recommendations video, so good. But another good one is the Rephr Beauty Mascara. This one has really grown with me. It's one of those mascaras that need to age a little bit. This one ages like fine wine, okay? She adds volume, she adds length, good amount of separation. I'm just gonna pop this on real quick. I don't have much to work with, so the transformation won't be unbelievable, but it's one of the better ones for my short, sparse, and thin lashes. So, like, look at that. That's just one coat. That's really good for me. Okay, so I know this one might not look as impressive, but it is a really good mascara. Take my word for it. I'm not working with much, but I do want to put on falsies. I do feel a little weird because I love cheap eyelashes. I do. But I've been using these nonstop. I've used them like 10 times and they still are in tip-top shape. So I need to talk about these velour lashes in the style Cloud 9. They are so beautiful, very, I wouldn't say natural, but they look like your lashes, but amped up, like to the max. So nice. So I'm gonna pop these on really quickly and I'll be back. I need to like clean them up because I've used them so much. And I use the Duo Green adhesive. And these are gonna look so good when I come back in this makeup look. Okay, lashes are on, right? So good. I actually want to put a nude liner in my waterline. I don't necessarily know that I recommend this, but this is the Melt Cosmetics Slick Waterline Eye Pencil in the shade Ivory. It's just one of the few ivory eye pencils that I have from Sephora. It's okay. It's a little too slick. I lose a lot of control with this. I actually don't like it, to be fair, but the ivory shade is not bad. I just feel like this would complete this look. It slips on the waterline so easy. It's one of the easiest to apply in that way, but if you're trying to get any precision, it slips and slides everywhere and can be a mess, so you have to be very careful. But that looks really good in today's case. So I just wanted to open my eyes a bit. Love that. Okay, so for lips, I still have a love affair with the Patrick Ta Precision Lip Crayons, particularly in the shade She's Proud. Pretty old product. I've had this for a couple of years, but I'm still loving it, and he has the best shades. So if you're looking for an oldie but goodie lip liner, the Patrick Ta one is fabulous. It's not super creamy, but I like that about this because I feel like it lasts longer, and it just is a perfect shade. So that's good. Now, when you do apply it on like a large area on the lips, it's going to be a little dry. So the perfect product to counteract that is the Gucci Call It A Day lipstick. This is the hydrating one. I love Gucci Beauty lip product. I just love Gucci Beauty, actually. So Gucci Beauty is super duper expensive, so I feel like this is a great time to pick up their products during the sale. And I'm going to use this one. So you see how this one has that hydrating element that kind of makes up for the Patrick Ta. This one is a really pretty mauve-y kind of shade. Isn't that so pretty? I love the fragrance in it too. Kind of smells like the Guerlain balls. if you know what I'm talking about. Okay, let me pull myself together and I'll close you guys out. All right, you guys, here is the final look. It's very soft, but still very glam. This is a my speed kind of look. Like, this is Morgan Turner in a look, my favorite style of makeup. Absolutely love all of the products that I use in today's video. I stand behind all of these as recommendations for the Sephora event as well. They might not be new and shiny makeup products that we're all excited about and is in the front of our mind, but these are not to be forgotten because they are all stunning. And even if you have these products already, pull them out, remind yourself how good they are. Give yourself some time tomorrow to sit down, play with some of your makeup products, and then head to Sephora. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I did, playing with some of my favorite products. If you aren't subscribed to my channel already, make sure you take the time to do that and like this video. I will catch you in the next one. Bye guys, have a good one.